kol omer kra, va'amar ma'ekra, kol habasar chatzir, v'chol chasto ketzitz hasadeh, yavesh chatzir navel tzitz ki ruach Adonai nashva bo. Achein chatzir ha'am, yavesh chatzir navel tzitz udavar Eloheinu yakum liolam. A voice says, cry out. But I ask, what shall I cry? All flesh is like grass. All of its beauty is like the flower of the field. The grass withers, and the flower fades, when a wind from God blows upon it. Surely, therefore, people are like grass. The grass withers, and the flower fades, but the word of God endures forever. LeDavid Mizmor, L'Adonai haaretz umloa, tevel v'yoshveva, ki hu al yamim yesada, v'al nahorot yechoneneha. Mi ya'aleh bahar Adonai, umi yakum bimkom kadsho, neki chapayim uvar levav, asher lo nasa lashav nafshi v'lo nishpa lemirma. Yisav racha me'et Adonai, utztaka melohei yisho. The earth is the Lord's with all of its fullness. The world is the Lord's with all of its inhabitants. Who may ascend the mountain of the Lord? Who may stand in the holy place? She who has clean hands and a pure heart. She will receive a blessing from the Lord and a just reward from the God of deliverance. Saul, when I came to see Linda, there was that big photo high up on the wall. That must have been from your wedding day. It was enlarged. You and Linda were at the wedding cake. What a photo. Two young people with their life all ahead of them, looking into the future together, waiting for their dreams to come true. When you find the right person, the future suddenly doesn't seem so intimidating or so scary. And you found each other and you achieved the future. I know that Michael and Amy and Eric, you said that your mother had very basic, simple dreams, simple desires for her future. She wasn't out to conquer the world, you said. She wanted family and she wanted children, friendship and health. And you know what? Those aren't simple goals. Those goals are what it's all about. Those goals are what we all want to have. There are a lot of people who try to conquer the world and don't achieve the, quote, simple goals that Linda achieved in her life. She maintained and nurtured life through her long friendships with other people, friendships since elementary school, which is no easy task, and which is testimony to her warmth and her decency. She had a family that has stayed together. They vacation. You vacation together every year. Your mother taught you the importance of, quote, showing up for each other. She showed up for you, whether it was at your school events or shows or sports or for conversation or for family gatherings. Linda showed up for people, sometimes in a wheelchair if she needed to, but she showed up for people. And she wanted the family to show up for each other. She always wanted the three of you to get along and told you so. She was welcoming and warm to all those who married into the family. Major holidays like Passover or Thanksgiving, they were important to her to have the family together. Having a family that relates to each other and caring about each other, showing up in sickness and in health, those aren't small dreams in my book. Those are the dreams that life's made out of. It's what life is all about. It's what Linda is all about. Linda created moments. She was always ready for a one-on-one conversation. Those moments, that's what she lived for. Saul, you said when you had to take a pay cut, but it was a job that you felt was going to be better in the long run. She said, listen, if you think it's right, we'll make it work. Words of support at that moment, which you needed, and she showed up for you in that moment. From the first time that I met Linda, she was this very petite, this very tender-looking, warm woman, but she had a strength and a will that always came out. She had a commitment for certain causes, a free will and an opinion and a presence and perseverance. I liked Linda right away. She had a wonderful laugh. She had a beautiful smile, sparkling eyes. Her Hebrew name was Esther. Esther means hidden. Linda had hidden strengths. You didn't see all of Linda right away. And I think she preferred it that way because she was a very modest woman. She was articulate, she was well-read, she was assertive when she needed to be, she was direct, and she was a lot of fun. Plus, she would stick up for me if Saul ever was mean to me in the synagogue. That was consistent. I could always hide behind Linda. I visited her during a few of those stretches in the hospital for her flare-ups with MS, and it is what it is. You said that was her motto for the circumstances that life placed on her at times. Or to paraphrase today, she was what she was, a dear and dedicated, a value-driven woman who cared deeply for the people in her life, a caring and sensitive and bright human being. She loved babies. I know she volunteered in the NIC unit. She loved babies. She loved plants. She loved growth. She loved life. She loved growing and being. I want you to know something. An engineer figures out how things look on the outside and why they work. An X-ray technician figures out how people look on the inside and how that works. And she figured people out from the inside. She understood how people ticked on the inside. She treated everybody as a unique individual. Mel, you had a childhood with Linda. She was like a mother to you at times. You two were close. You were close to your parents. Both you and Linda knew that your door was always open for relatives, whether for a meal or to stay over when they came to visit. That was the lesson of your home life, to have the door open. Linda started her love for the piano from her youngest years, and that was music that always filled the home. Some of your family, as you knew, had perished in the Holocaust, which you two knew growing up, and perhaps that stimulated Linda even more in her awareness of the importance of treating every person with respect and with kindness. I know that one of her pieces of advice to the kids was, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Linda would tell you that. How you say something shows something about you and makes the other person feel completely different. And I think of what Maya Angelou said, it's something very similar. It's not what you say, it's how you make other people feel. I didn't know Maya Angelou got that from Linda Ludwig, but essentially she did. Linda made other people feel like her friend. She made other people feel like they were close to her. She made everyone feel like they were her friend. 61 years of marriage, and you two saw it all. Those two young people that I saw in that photo on your wall, they couldn't have envisioned all of this. Or maybe I'm wrong, maybe the opposite. Maybe they could have envisioned all of it, and they knew that they would face it together. She ran the home as you built your career and supervised the kids, and there was dinner always waiting for you at 6:30 in the evening. And just like dinner at 6:30 in the evening, you two coordinated your lives together. You had different personalities, but you loved each other and you supported each other. You believed in each other. You trusted each other. And you learned from each other. You learned about classical music and she learned about country, right? You learned from her that the Linda way of being a kind and sensitive and generous human being. You also learned from her how we have to react to things in life that no one could have coordinated in advance. Her living with MS couldn't have been coordinated in advance, but she rarely let it stand in her way. In more recent years was the challenge with Parkinson's, and I know you made these last years ones filled with devotion and with care. Linda wanted to live a full life until the end, and you helped her to do that and to achieve that. You enriched her, and you showed up for her, just as she had shown up for all of you for these many years. She was as sweet as all those sweet candies she loved to save for the grandkids. I know she liked to say, I'm the grandmother and I can give away as many sweets as I want to my grandkids. Well, I'm the rabbi, I can give out as many sweet compliments I want to Linda Ludwig. She lived with a good name, and she died with a good name. We're going to have some moments of a comment from the family. Michael, if you want to come up.
I always found it ironic that the first three letters in funeral is F-U-N, fun. Perhaps there's some joy in grieving it as a community. Perhaps it would be fun to hear one's own eulogy, but I suppose that's not practical. Then again, my mom. My mom, to whom I owe many, many thanks and equally as many apologies. Perhaps it's not too late. I've come to realize that while Mom was generally the smallest in the room, in many ways she was the strongest. She battled scoliosis as it continued to worsen, Parkinson's for 11 years, and MS and vertigo for more than 55 years. Given her various ailments, she way beat the odds. Mom rarely dwelled, hardly complained, and never stopped fighting. I take responsibility for my failures, but Mom deserves much of the credit for my successes. Thank you. Last year, Mom and Dad celebrated their 61st wedding anniversary, a milestone that happens in less than 1% of all marriages. Again, Mom beating the odds. In fact, as I look at my immediate family of siblings, aunts and uncles, and cousins, 8 marriages in all, not one divorce, all strong, healthy, long-lasting relationships. Being the first in the group to marry, Mom and Dad were the role models. It was true love as you showed what a wonderful partnership looks like. I attribute my equally wonderful relationship with Donna to you and Dad. I wanted what you had. Thank you. But I knew her best as a mom that raised, supported, and loved 3 uniquely different kids. The earlier years were far easier for me than for her, as she was a far better mom than I was a son. I was challenging, opinionated, and for all sorts of foolish reasons, frequently argumentative. I'm so sorry. But like she managed her physical challenges, she never, ever gave up on me. Beyond being a mother, Mom was a wonderful mother-in-law. Despite being raised in an Orthodox environment, Mom, without any hesitation, welcomed Donna to the family. Our differing religions were immaterial, even back during the interfaith marriage taboo days. Perhaps Mom had that uncanny mother intuition, realized Donna was the one before I did. You loved her and ignored what others thought. I am one of the luckiest guys to be married to Donna, and rather certain that marriage would not have happened without Mom's unwavering encouragement and support. Thank you. Mom taught me the critical importance of friendships. They were her friends from the high school days, Marcia Blond, Linda Gottfried. They were her friends from the old neighborhood, the Wolfs from Concord, Blumenthal's from Letchworth. She had her Chautauqua friends, the Northmans, and others. Her Temple friends, the Ratners, the Arlands, her Sarasota friends. Then her ultimate friend, Ruthie Raskin. Mom and Ruthie were born in the same year, in the same month, and on the same day, and lived a few houses down from one another. Lifelong friends, literally. And Mom's friendships weren't just about the quantity, but the quality. She was loyal to so many for so many years. I am so fortunate to have a strong support group of amazing friends. There was no way I would have prioritized this without Mom's influence. Thank you. But there was nothing in this world more important to Mom than family. Because of the Holocaust, she didn't have the luxury of meeting her grandparents or aunts or uncles, nor did she have that many cousins. I look at Ryan and Sarah and how their relationship has grown. I see how close the first cousins are, and more impressively, I see how close the second cousins are. We get together not because we have to, but because we want to. Mom's influence has already affected multiple generations, and will carry on for many more. Thank you. Dad, don't worry. It will be years before I give you a eulogy, but it will take me that long to parse all the good material. You are truly amazing. You are perhaps the smartest guy I know, a true role model, a mentor. The past year presented many medical, emotional, and logistical challenges. And while Mom was truly a special person, She was not always the best patient. Yet you cared for her, arranged and coordinated in-home medical care, shuttled her to social outings, medical appointments, even traveled on planes to various parts. There were certainly rough days, but you rarely complained or asked for help. Perhaps Mom never expressed her gratitude, but she knew it took a toll and constantly worried. Typical Mom. Her health is failing, yet she is more worried about yours. She, more than anyone, knows that you made her final months comfortable. Thank you. Speaking of those final months, and unbeknownst to Mom, she actually helped me prepare for today. A month ago, while in the hospital recovering from pneumonia, we had plenty of quality one-on-one time. I casually asked about her childhood, her friendships, the earlier days of marriage, parenthood, religion, coping with illness, and the importance of family. Later on, when I thought I had today's remarks in decent form, I gave it one run-through, sharing it with the person who needed to hear these words the most. So a few nights later, after the nurse left with the latest vitals, I read Mom's eulogy to Mom. I told her I loved her, and I wanted her to hear my thoughts, my thanks, and my apologies. There were tears, but way more joy. Mom, with her unique humor, reminded me that she wasn't yet dead. I laughed. Then I asked her about her new Do Not Resuscitate bracelet. She told me not to worry. It would depend on the situation, and she would let me know. Then we both laughed. Despite her humor, Mom made it clear that she was willing to fight for a bit. But at some point, after 82 wonderful years, a peaceful death was going to be far better than a struggle to live. Yet that doesn't necessarily make today any easier. You know, there's a rather unique bond between a mother and a child. Mom, you eased me into this world. I can only hope that by sharing your eulogy, I was able to help ease you out. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. In this weather, I know my mom would have said, it's really cold out there. I'm going to watch on Zoom. When a person dies, no matter how well prepared we think we are, the emotional, mental, and physical stress is exhausting. Trying to make decisions when our brains and hearts are trying to wrap themselves around the sudden absence 72 hours earlier is really challenging. Sharing the pulpit with a legend like Rabbi Scoff makes this even more difficult, but I decided last night to give this a try. Judaism was a big part of my mom's life. Her favorite Jewish holiday was Passover. She loved the traditions, gathering of the family, the festive meal, and singing songs like Dayenu. Dayenu. The phrase itself means it would have been enough. Even when there might not be more good things coming, together we assert Dayenu, acknowledging that whatever we've already been given is enough. A warm family where my mother loves my father and my father loves my mother, Dayenu. A mother that prioritizes her kids over all else, Dayenu. A resilient fighter who showed up to my kids' school events, sports, special occasions, no matter what the challenges, weather, or circumstances. Dayenu. Diagnosed with multiple sclerosis at age 40, Parkinson's by age 70, yet still managed to show up, be present, call regularly, and laugh often. Dayenu. One incredible husband, 3 wonderful children, 6 beautiful grandchildren, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, baby namings, family trips, engagements, weddings, extended family events, graduations, Dainu, driving to Buffalo year after year for Thanksgiving and Amy's birthday, no matter what the weather conditions, hardship with hotels, or unexpected visits to urgent care, even just 8 weeks ago, as her condition worsened, Dainu. My mom's birthday was December 30th, followed by mine on December 31st. We used to joke that hers was the opening night, kind of like the opening act. Even my college friends remember my mom and her laugh as they joined us years ago on my 21st birthday in Key West. It's hard to believe, but we spent 46 of my 51 birthdays together on the actual dates, not just pizza on Sunday. Dainu, this past year, she continued teaching me as we had clear conversations during her time at the hospital. On a freezing cold day, just 6 weeks ago, kind of like today, we talked about her and her prognosis, and she encouraged me at the time to take my family away, saying she'd be here when I return. Dainu. Once released from the hospital to her apartment in Vitalia, she enjoyed visits in those last few weeks, a Shabbat dinner with Mike and Donna, Ryan, Sarah, a special in-house spa birthday with Amy, Donna, Sarah, and Lily. Dainu. And then for one last hurrah, a moment that I'll never, ever forget. As you know, my mom spent summers in Chautauqua, and last summer we had a very unique experience where we saw a piano recital by a man named Yaron Kohlberg, and described by world media as a pianist with golden hands. And when I was looking through photos at the hospital, I was reminded how special that experience was for us. Her passion, my friends, was piano. So I reached out to Yaron via LinkedIn with one of those "not sure if you remember me" messages. And 2 weeks later, he responded. And then, on January 12th, just 13 days ago, we brought in a combination of Severance Hall and Carnegie Hall to Vitalia. Although I wasn't sure if her body would be able to move from her bed, her resiliency proved true among us, and we brought her downstairs via the special wheelchair to the grand piano in the lobby. Magical, memorable, emotional. We cried. We held hands. We listened intently. Truly front row, 50-yard line Super Bowl seats we had. Watching his fingers magically dance on the keys. She requested her favorite composers from Chopin to Bach, while one of the most accomplished pianists played a private concert for us. Never again will I listen to a piano concerto with a dry eye or forget that day, and neither will she. Once the concert was finished, we head upstairs. Her aide commented as we entered the elevator, "That man played from his heart just for you, and I've never seen anything more beautiful." We got her back into the bed, had a few bites of dinner, and we said goodnight. This was the last time that Linda left her bed in her apartment. A few days later, I exchanged emails with Yaron, thanking him for what was beyond extraordinary. For a guy who's played in 40 countries and famous concert halls around the world, I was moved by his reply. "I truly felt a special energy playing for your mother last week. There are some moments which are memorable for performers for different reasons, and this was indeed a very special one." Dainu. Beyond special. That's you, Mom. I love you. Dainu.
Lily and Caitlin.
Grandma Linda, last time I saw you was December 30th, your 82nd birthday. My mom, Sarah, and Donna and I came over to Vitalia to give you an at-home spa day. Of course, we came with a caramel frappe in hand. We sat together, we chatted, we laughed, we gave you a foot massage, hand massage, painted your toes, and played classical music. You were happy, and we were happy. It was during this time and reflecting on that time so far that I've realized a couple things. One, you are an incredibly strong human being. You were dealt a tough hand in life, health-wise, yet I rarely, if ever, heard you complain. I don't think most people could endure what you endured on a daily basis and still go through life smiling, coming to your grandkids' sports events, graduations, simchas, and more. As you always said, it is what it is. 2, you were really funny, and I mean really funny. And the best part was, when I would laugh at something you said, you would respond with, "What's so funny? Why are you laughing?" And I could never give you an answer because it was just you speaking your mind and an opinion that no one else would ever say out loud. 3, you and my mom had an amazing relationship. I saw and could feel the trust, love, and care you had for one another, and that is something I want to emulate. I am so thankful for all the time we spent together in Cleveland, Buffalo, Chautauqua, and Mexico. During this time of mourning, I'm so grateful to be here, surrounded by this amazing family you and Papa Salt created. I miss you and love you, Grandma Linda. Love, Lily.
My Grandma Linda was one of the kindest and most loving people to ever walk this earth. She was always there for her family, put on a smile at even the hardest times, and always put others' needs before her own. Despite her small stature and sweet, soft voice, Grandma Linda was strong. One of the most inspiring traits of my grandmother was her resilience. My grandma endured a lot of health struggles in her life. From being diagnosed with multiple incurable diseases nearly 50 years ago, to getting her hips replaced, to surviving COVID twice, Grandma Linda never gave up. She fought even when it hurt so badly because she loved all of us so much. Grandma Linda made me smile and laugh more than anyone. You wouldn't know it from looking at her, but my grandma had a huge sense of humor and never failed to crack a joke. Many times it wasn't intentional, she was just funny. One of my favorite memories is at my grandparents' house in the village. My grandma rode around on a scooter, and she was a bit overconfident with her fast speed. When my papa left the room, she pointed out the holes and the dents in the wall from her crashes, joking that she crashed intentionally to bring a little spice and conflict into their daily life. When my dad would get overly carried away about some absurd idea he had, Grandma Linda would simply turn to me and shake her head, a moment of connection between the two of us that would make me smile. Something I'll forever remember and cherish is that I was one of the last people to ever see my grandma kiss her head and hold her hand. While incredibly challenging and emotional, I'm forever grateful for the hours I spent with my family on Saturday and Sunday, surrounding my grandma with love and assuring her that we will all be okay. I know that I will now forever hold a special bond with my papa, dad, Aunt Amy, Uncle Mel, and Aunt Ann. Grandma, I love you so much. I will forever cherish our sweet text exchanges, photos, and voicemails I have saved from you. I miss you immensely, and I will love you forever.
Let's all rise for the memorial prayer. El mole rachamim shochen bamromim hametzei menucha nechona tachat kanfei hashchina b'malot kedoshim utehorim kazor rakia mazirim et nishmat Esther bat Mordechai v'Liba שהלכה לעולמה בגן עדן תהא מנוחתה אנא בעל הרחמים הסתיריה בסתר כנפיך לעולמים וצרור בצריכם את נשמתה אדוני הוא נחלתה ותנוח בשלום המשכבה ונאמר amen. May we remember all of the worthy and the righteous deeds that she performed while in the land of the living. May her soul be bound up in the bonds of eternal life. God is now her portion. May she rest in peace. And we all say amen. Let's be seated. We want to offer our condolences to Saul, to Michael and Donna, Amy and Ken, Eric and Emily, Melvin and Ann, the grandchildren, Ryan, Sarah, Lily, Alex, Caitlin, Ian, and Evie. The processional will follow now, the processional to the burial spot, where we'll complete the service at the cemetery. The family will be receiving visitors for the Shiva visitation today following services, immediately following the burial portion of the service. Today at the Ludwig home in Shaker Heights, Emily and Eric Ludwig's residence in Shaker Heights, 2953 Waybridge Road. Again, 2953 Waybridge Road in Shaker Heights, beginning today following services until 5, and then again this evening 7 to 9 p.m. We'll have a minyan sometime during the evening, between 7 and 9 p.m. Tomorrow 1 to 4, and then again 7 to 9, and Friday 1 to 4. We're going to ask the pallbearers now to come forward as we arrange the processional. Please remain in your seats for another moment, but the pallbearers should come forward.
All birds are going to line up. We're going to ask the ladies to be in the middle, please. All birds are going to look up on the casket. We're going to walk towards the double doors.
Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai Roi Lo Atzar, Bino Beshi Arbitzini, Amen Nukoti Nachalei. Nashi Yishaveh Yamcheni V'Madlei Tzedek V'Man Shemo. Gam Ki Elech V'Ged Salmavet, Lo Ira Ra, Ki Ata Imadi. Shiptecha U'Mishamtecha, Hema Yinachamuni. Ta'aroch L'fanai Shochan Neged Zorai, Yishanta B'Hashem En Roshi Kosim Revaya. Achto L'Chesed Yirufuni Koli Mechayai, Mishanti B'Beit Adonai L'Torah
Those who are going to that service, please return directly to your cars. Put on your headlights and your hats and flashers. Thank you.
Just watch your step out here. It's wet. Just watch your step. Please watch your step. Please watch your step. It's wet. When you go back. Watch your step, please. It is wet.